Yeah, well, previous to Lewis starting first year or S1, I was concerned. There was meetings and opportunities to have meetings to make sure that the school matched Lewis's needs. Um, After that, they agreed they would have monthly or every 2 monthly meetings, which would reflect on his work and his practice, and that I was very comfortable with, because then I knew that then Lewis was engaging well, I had a good relationship with staff, and from there it just grew and it was great. There was lots of support on how to do more. I mean, for example, normally there's high level exams that I was a wee bit reluctant with. They encouraged me to strive for the best and make sure that I could achieve what my peers are achieving. If I didn't understand something, they would provide extra support. Maybe it was something that was English based, that would be then translated into sign language. And the more understanding I got, the better I got at these subjects, and I could really take in any subject after that. And just as an additional, as a mother, communication is important, as you know, as a sign language user. They would always ask me, do I need an interpreter? And if I did need one, they would bring one in. Now, there's some signings that they had that, I felt very comfortable with. And, as a mother, it's important that in any difficult situations that I got as much communication as required. Well, communication, first and foremost. What level of language that Lewis has, what signing skills he has, to make sure that they both match, because at the end of the day Lewis has to understand the teacher and the teacher has to understand Lewis in order for him to get a good education. And if that's not the case, then he won't be getting concepts as well as what he would, and that was an important one for me. Just to add in, I mean, I signed all the time. I sign at home naturally, it's my first language. I'm a sign language user. When I came here, there was more elements of English, and it was just getting used to that. Teachers did help me translate quite a lot of material as well, and my understanding was getting good. Sometimes, a bit of patience was all that was required, because I'm having to work between two languages, because I'm obviously going to go to my first language. Moira, I believe if you have a good level of English, you can succeed more, but it's important to say sign language is the first language. If you get the concept across in that language first, then you can separate the signing to the English. And then, of course, if you try to amalgamate both languages and teach the one thing using both, you might struggle with that. So if you get the concept with your natural language, then add the English to it, that'd be more successful for him. In first year, I worked really closely with my teachers. My teacher had a really good level of signing. This was my English teacher. And we spoke about things, as you know, within the English language. I can write, but there may be some structures that I didn't quite understand. So the teacher would then explain to me, what the differences were, how to improve on that, which worked really, really well. I would say by the time third or fourth year came, when it came to exam times, I obviously found English, with it being my second language, still quite difficult, and there was stuff that I had to change into proper English. So what I'd do is sign first, and then the teacher would give me the translation and let me know what each bit meant. And from that, I just grew arms and legs and really improved, and I felt more comfortable in myself, and I was a lot more successful because of that support. Assemblies, for example, if it's Lewis doing any talks or any kind of plays, there was always an interpreter supplied, which was great. Same with parents' nights, interpreters were arranged prior to me coming along. If they couldn't get an interpreter, then a teacher would come in and provide that signed support with me. So I never felt at any point coming to the school that I wouldn't be able to communicate my needs. I would either have an interpreter or a teacher that could sign, and I've never had a problem so far.